there was a group of people from a city in the north of Chile, and this city is mostly known as a mining town, right?
Okay.
So people that work at mines actually make really good money.
Yeah.
So many of them are like retro, like old school arcade retro enthusiasts, and they enjoy fighting games, but they cannot they commit themselves to fighting games the way you have to if you want to be good, because
Sure,
they have like tough work skills. Like if you work at mines, you usually have to spend like 7 days in the mountains, and then you have like 7 free days, or seven kind of like work regimes, right? Or 2 weeks in the mountains, 1 week back home. These people actually went to EVO in 2011, and they loved the experience. But they decided to put up a tournament to send players that had the drive, the skills, but didn't have the resources to be able to get to Evo. That's when I say, okay, this is where I have to go all out. This is the chance of a lifetime. Play it, try to get better, but I was stuck in a country in the middle of literally at the end of the world. So it was definitely a different perspective. And then what happened is that I started playing fighting games in 2004 competitively, because I had a friend that was already big into them. That we used to hang out a lot on local tech forum, like overclocking and games and that kind of stuff, right? And he saw I had kind of interest in fighting games, but like in general, because again, the general look interesting to me, but I didn't know anyone, and he's the one that offered to teach me some of the basic fighting game stuff. And shortly after I started that, I started realizing there was not just a local scene for it, but an international, a global thing for it. That's how I learned about SRK and all Tekken Zaibatsu and all the forums around about Evo and SVO and all the stuff. I started for many years, it was like trying to be on top of the technology just to be able to have a chance against the super talented players that I would play in CVS2, in 3S, and local tournaments. Trying to get Evo, the Evo DVDs when they came out. Because I used to participate a lot on SRK actually. So there was one point where I got gifted premium time for the forums, and premium time gave you some perks, and one of those perks was being able to download the Evo DVDs.
Wow. So I did not know about this.
Yeah,
okay.
That is awesome.
There was a premium, this is before Patreon and stuff like that.
Already having it in DVD is one thing, but being able to download in the internet days back in the day was also a big prestige.
Yeah, well, no, that's a big deal, because that was when the internet was it was already well underway of giving good resources, but this is such an interesting story because this made it accessible. This knowledge was accessible to somebody all the way in Chile, right? That would come to Evo and prove himself, right? So sorry, just continue the story. Yeah.
So it was for all this, for about 8 years of just watching these people, watch the video, watching any footage I could, playing locally. I also happened to qualify for the Magic Pro Tour in 2010. So I won a trip to Europe. I went to tournaments in Sweden and the Netherlands.
Wow.
That was very good.
Okay,
and that was very cool. And
that's amazing.
World Warrior.
Wow. Okay.
Of course, that gave me more of a desire to be able to do more in fighting games as well. But I had to win this tournament because I didn't have the resources to travel at all. It's super expensive from here. So what happens is that there was a group of people from a city in the north of Chile, and this city is mostly known as a mining town, right?
Okay.
So people that work at mines actually make really good money. So many of them are retro, old school arcade retro enthusiasts, and they enjoy fighting games, but they cannot they commit themselves to fighting games the way you have to if you want to be good, because they have tough work skills. Like if you work at mines, you usually have to spend 7 days in the mountains, and then you have 7 free days, or 7 by 5, or that kind of work regimens, right? Or 2 weeks in the mountains, 1 week back home. So, and they have families, they have kids, so they couldn't get into fighting games to take it to a higher level. Plus, there's also the thing here is it doesn't really lead you to anything, sadly. So we're gonna go longer on that later, but
that's fine.
Basically, the only way to make it out there is if you probably win something. So these people actually went to EVO in 2011 and they loved the experience. But they decided to put up a tournament to send players that had the drive, the skills, but didn't have the resources to be able to get to EVO.
Right.
And the first year was 2012, January or February 2012, and they had Street Fighter 4, Marvel 3, and MK9.
Right.
At the time.
The big three at the time, yes.
Yeah. And they will send the winner of each game to EVO, and that's when I say, okay, this is where I have to go all out. This is the chance of a lifetime. And at the time, I had got into Marvel 3. I was starting to do decently. It was actually this was early Ultimate. Like the first 2-3 months of Ultimate. But I did terrible during vanilla. There's footage of me playing on vanilla. I was getting destroyed, smacked, tossed all around. But I really like the game. I always like watching Marvel 2 back in the day. But there was no community for it. There were very few players, 5-6 dedicated players that played in one particular arcade, and that was it. So for me, it was even though the game was enjoyable, was interesting to me. It was, if there's no competition, there's no drive for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So so there was a competition in the 2011. You said the group of miners in the northern part of Chile hosted this tournament, and you realized okay.
2012. So
2012. Okay.
They went to EVO in 2011, and since they loved the experience, they put the tournament for 2012.
Okay, so that's when you started grinding. So I guess were you able to get a trip from winning that tournament? Or
yes.
Is that the first time that you were able to go to the US and compete? Okay.
Yes, and the ticket was only for EVO, but since I already had contacts in the States, for example. There were even people from SRK watching me on the stream for the tournament for the ticket.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wow.
So, do you know if that stream archive is still alive somewhere in the internet? Your qualifier tournament?
It's on YouTube, if I remember correctly.
I'll try to find it. Unless if
YouTube.
you could find it also, you can just pass it to me. I'd love to see.
Just give me a reminder after we're done, and I'll look it for you.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
But yeah.
So how did that EVO go for you when the first time that you went? Was it?
I actually told the organizers to send me 1 month earlier.
Oh, okay.
And so I stayed in LA, in the LA area. During that month, started going to Super Arcade for Wednesday Night Fight / Runback at the time, which was the biggest thing, along with New York City's Weekly was the big Wednesday night wars at the time.
Famous Wednesday Night Fights. Yeah,
all the killers were there.
Oh yeah,
for every game.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There's some legendary moments that were. Made there too. Yeah.
Wednesday Night Fights back then.
Wednesday Fights in Super, and then Big 2 in next level.
In the East Coast, yes.
So it's it was crazy. We will stay with friends, just hanging out, watching until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh man.
For those, and started going to Wednesday Night Fights, playing against all these names that I had watched on stream for a long time, getting to meet people. Legendary names like Watson Valle, Vizcayan Clockwork, all the big names that were doing really well in Street Fighter 4 at the time as well. And then I went to Evo and did fairly decently for my first Evo. I didn't have any high expectations, but I definitely did better than expected. I even had a pretty good highlight against Fnatic on that first year.
I think I remember this.
On Wednesday night fights, and I got out at tied for on top 48 at Evo for Marvel, which was very, very decent considering it was like around 900 players for the year.
For your first attempt, that's pretty decent. I think.
I'm sure the format also must have been kind of. I mean, if it was your first Evo, so you're probably unfamiliar with like the protocol, like how things work, and you're probably kind of soaking all that in, being your first experience. And so I guess how much of that first experience do you think helped you later on?
I mean, I think it all added up because honestly, for what I wanted to do, I didn't have a way to take it to a higher level here. So all of the high level experience I got, grinding and all that, was all that it was all the stuff I got on my travels, not here. Because at a point here, like like no long after I got to a point here where it's like no one could beat me. There was one or two guys that were like way better than the rest, but I could still beat them. Like they were the two ones that I actually had to.
You had to use your brain power.
Focus to play. But everyone else, I would just be on autopilot. So for me, I like all the experience I got to be good at Marvel 3. I got it outside. Like although I had some friends that play locally and they didn't even care too much about competing, but they would still come to my place to play long sessions just to keep me like somewhat fresh, even though it's difficult because it's like a knife. If you don't use it, it doesn't stay the same. It becomes dull. Right. So you need to
keep it sharpening it.
You actually need to use it so it stays sharp.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess in a certain sense, even though you're a player from Chile, a lot of the technology you got was from the States, because you were watching DVDs on the Evo DVDs. You were looking at SRK. You went to WNF. You went to the US like a month early to just grind with American players. So I guess in a big way, you've kind of also like studied that playstyle directly and was able to learn from it as well.